Leeds United need to make signings, and let's be honest, we knew that we needed to make signings in midfield and at left back, but Somerville departing brings a new issue that we need to solve. So, what exactly can Leeds do? How do they get forwards from this position? It looks like the Whites have lined up three pretty huge deals that aren't completed, or I'll be honest, I don't know how nearing completion they are, but they are big and worthy of talking about and have been from pretty reliable sources throughout the day. So, welcome to the channel. On this video, I'm going to run through the deals one by one, explain who each of the targets is, whether or not they'll fit the Leeds system, because that's pretty important, estimate the rough costs of each of the moves, and ultimately judge whether or not it's a good or bad move. And also, sorry if you can hear there are seagulls out of the window. I live in Blackpool, and all of me hurts after the charity walk, so I need that fresh air quite badly. Sorry. So, getting to it, we're going to talk about deal number one, which is filling in that wing slot. It's the one that I am personally most excited about, but the later ones could have a hell of a lot of potential. This one is John Rowe, and you've likely heard this one, both the rumours of him potentially coming to Leeds and all about him from last season, and he is the player that is the prospective Crescencio Somerville replacement. Now, reports say that Leeds United have bid £7 million for him, and from what I've heard from all over the place, it sounds quite a bit like we might have been a little bit laughed out of the room. But whilst the move is likely to need more, Norwich have shown a little bit of financial weakness. They let Gabriel Sara go for something like 23 million euros, rising to 26, when he was firmly their best player last season. He went to that club in Turkey, and I'll be honest, that makes it fairly easy for them to have sort of pried him away. And if John Rowe is potentially considering a move himself with 1 year left on his contract, admittedly he's got an extension on the club side, but that's not going to be the hardest thing to force getting that move out, because let's be honest, they've already proven they're not willing to hang on to their best players for obscene amounts of money. As a player, he is a fantastic winger. He can play on both sides. He does a lot of cutting in, playing in the sort of quasi-10 role thing, sort of hybridizing himself across that front line. He had basically half a season of football in terms of minutes, and he got 12 goals and 2 assists in that time, which is a really good return, especially in a Norwich system where when you're trying to provide assists, it's for Ashley Barnes. Not always going to work out. And in my opinion, I think if we could get this done, he would make a fantastic signing. There is one particular issue, though, and that is, will Norwich reasonably sell to a promotion rival? I genuinely don't know. A little bit of me doubts it, but I still want them to. I think it might take something like 14 to 15 million all in, but I think that could be worth our while, considering that it's still a profit on the Somerville money. Excellent move if we can get it done. But the question is, are we focusing too hard on Rowe, or could we look elsewhere? I'm not certain. The next player that we are reportedly looking at is also a wide player, but very, very good at what he does. It's Hugo Bueno. And there has been a lot of discussion around our need for a left back, and we are currently looking at this, frankly, fairly good left back from Wolves. And the way that I put it quite simply in my quick little bit of research was, Bueno seems kind of bueno. He looks like he knows what he's doing over at left back. He can float around a little bit, but for the most part, he's someone that will not only play that fullback role in his own half, but is happy to bomb on, do the Firpo-y things, and he's not completely inexperienced either. He got 700 minutes last season, mostly at Wolves, which is brilliant, decent amount of Premier League minutes, which shows that he's probably good enough for the Championship, and he is a reasonably talented player. If he were to come to us, it would look like a loan deal, but in my opinion, a loan deal makes a lot of sense for us. We are still, and not for last season, but for this season, we are still being very, very careful over PSR. Because if you're not, then you end up dancing into that position of, oh no, very sudden PSR problems, and things start to look a little bit dodgy. If we sign him on loan, it also allows us a little bit more flexibility the following year. So if we sign him this season for a little bit more depth and to make sure that we're looking good going forwards, and it doesn't quite work out, then we don't necessarily need to have him next season. Whereas if it's a loan or a loan with an obligation to buy, that's where we've got that little bit more threat. Big question on this one is, will he want us? There is also interest reportedly from Celtic and I think Feyenoord, maybe? It's a team in the Eredivisie. And essentially, he seems to want a little bit of European football if he is able to go anywhere, but at the same time, Is he going to be able to play football against the quality of teams that he wants to play against? I don't know. This is his chance to make his impact on a club that is top-end Championship, hoping for promotion and could offer him Premier League football in the future. I think it's a good deal if we can do it. It's about persuading him to make that move. And finally, the third little bit of rumour that is going on today that I think could be quite interesting. And he's someone that falls into that category of young player at a top club that I know a little bit about, but not tons. It's Bobby Clark, who is a young midfielder at Liverpool, but he's not your sort of passive defensive midfielder, and he's not even someone that's an under-21 that's never played any football. There was the discussion around Mika Hamilton recently, and I was like, well, I don't really know anything about this guy, and he's played nothing in terms of the Premier League. But Bobby Clark had 10 first-team appearances last season, I think 2 in the Europa League, 3 in the Cups, and 5 in the Premier League, and I'll be honest, he proved pretty good in the Europa League. He got 98 minutes, a goal, an assist. That should have been his breakthrough, but being at Liverpool, it's quite hard to have a breakthrough because everyone in front of you is already a really, really, really good player. He fits the sort of structure and profile of a midfielder that we really want at the moment. He's very forward-thinking. Not only is he sort of safe in terms of his passing, but when he receives the ball, he will think, right, how do we get up the pitch? Which is sort of what we need, in my opinion. It's someone that is able to sort of take possession and go, okay, let's be productive with this. And he might not start all the time, but he's someone that I think will get a lot of minutes and will be an excellent option for us to have. Again, as far as I'm aware, this would be a loan because he's got a hell of a lot of talent. He is currently, just going to double check, 19 years old, so Liverpool will want to hold on to him and make sure that he's pretty good. And he's the sort of player that we need, but again, securing a move could be quite difficult because he is very widely sought after. Understandably so, there's a hell of a lot of potential there. If we can get him, he'll be an absolutely fantastic signing. And I think if we're able to put the case forward to Liverpool and to him to say, look, we are really good at training young players. You've seen what's happened to Somerville. You've seen what's happened to Gray. This is one that makes sense for you and it makes sense for us. Then I think that'll be absolutely perfect for all parties involved and it makes it a lot easier. And basically, combined, getting all 3 of these players would be perfect. In terms of pure fees and money put over to the other clubs, it totals whatever John Rowe is going to cost plus wages for the loanees. Nice little hiccup. In addition to that, there's also loan fees, but they're never too huge. And basically, we would still profit from the Somerville stuff and get 3 players in that will help us to power our way to promotion. I think with this, our squad is effectively complete, assuming we don't sell anyone else. But that is all what I think. As always, I'd kind of want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below whether or not you think that these 3 would be good signings for Leeds, bad signings, whether or not you sort of... how you're feeling on the 49ers at the minute, because I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Even become a channel member. That's always hugely appreciated, and it's 99p a month. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Ta-ra. And if you don't like and subscribe, I'll show you the blisters from the walk. Nasty chin. I accidentally popped one earlier. That was fun. Sorry. In a bit.